This segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with Stephen Leahy. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump reacting to this announcement from Nancy Pelosi yesterday.
And this week, the president has admitted to asking the president of Ukraine to take actions which would benefit him politically. The actions of the Trump presidency revealed the dishonorable fact of the president's betrayal of his oath of office, betrayal of our national security, and betrayal of the integrity of our elections. Therefore, today, I'm announcing the House of Representatives moving forward with an official impeachment inquiry. I'm directing our 6 committees to proceed with their investigations under that umbrella of impeachment inquiry.
So Nancy Pelosi restating her position on the topic of impeachment. It's just a different angle of incidents. It's not Russian collusion anymore. It's Ukrainian collusion. And Trump restating his.
Mr. President, Congress is moving towards impeachment, including Nancy Pelosi, could be as a result of the Ukraine call. How do you feel about that?
I think it's ridiculous. It's a witch hunt. I'm leading in the polls. They have no idea how they stop me. The only way they can try is through impeachment. This has never happened to a president before. There's never been a thing like this before. It's nonsense. And when you see the call, when you see the readout of the call, which I assume you'll see at some point, you'll understand. That call was perfect. It couldn't have been nicer. And even the Ukrainian government put out a statement that that was a perfect call. There was no pressure put on them whatsoever. But there was pressure put on with respect to Joe Biden. What Joe Biden did for his son, that's something they should be looking at.
Again, he stuck the landing. He got a perfect 10. And the phone call, according to President Trump.
And so Pelosi, as we played earlier, her position is he didn't have to apply pressure for this to be impeachable. Just the specter of Joe Biden's name being mentioned is a betrayal of his office, of national security, of free and fair elections, of Western civilization, of the 10 Commandments, of the Beatitudes, of the 4 cardinal virtues. It's a betrayal of everything.
But he tweeted yesterday in bold, all capital letters, presidential harassment. And he, put out that pre-made video from last week, just showing all the attacks on him since he took office.
For more on this topic, right? I mean, this has been the position of the Democrats from the election night forward, and it hasn't changed. It's just the content they're using to prosecute their case changes. David Harsanyi, senior editor for the Federalist, Federalist.com, author of First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun from Revolution to Today. David Harsanyi joins us. Thank you for being with us, David. Appreciate it.
Oh, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So we're, of course, waiting for the transcript to be released and waiting for the congressional intel committees to get the whistleblowers complaint. So we don't know everything. That hasn't stopped the left from talking about it. So I guess we can talk about it, too, perhaps in more restrained tones. But what about what Nancy Pelosi suggests and what the president has provided in terms of a response?
Well, I mean, I think it's important to say that Nancy Pelosi decided to move forward with impeachment without actually seeing a transcript and without actually seeing the whistleblower's complaint. Her entire case is predicated on the fact that Donald Trump asked the Ukrainian president to investigate Biden. Now, if that's an impeachable offense now, I think we have a lot of precedent that says that other people, acted poorly as well. First of all, and second of all, she moving forward without any evidence tells us that this is a partisan consideration, not a legal one or a constitutional one or any of the things that she's saying.
So why
Trump's response, I think, was good, though. I don't understand why he gets himself involved in this kind of nonsense where he should have just shipped off this investigation to some of his cronies in the intelligence services like the Democrats did it under Obama the last election.
Right, instead of Rudy G., which has perhaps not been particularly helpful, including his recent appearances on the cable news talkies, which we've discussed. But let me ask
out of control.
Yeah, let me.
People like, shut up, moron. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Well, so was that moron though, that former Schumer staffer. But I agree, Rudy G's not helping anybody, including himself. But here's the thing, the decision by Pelosi. This is something she's resisted up until this point. Now she takes a flyer with information she doesn't have. Is this strictly because you were reaching upwards of 80% of her caucus wanting to move on this, and she's just acquiescing to internal pressure?
That's what it seems like to me. I think that she felt this Ukrainian thing was enough for her to, not to put herself in risk. Though I have to say, nothing really. This is just the status quo. We already had these investigations, so basically the only thing that's changed is her open support for them. I'm still a little skeptical that they're actually going to impeach him. I think what they want more than anything is just to have this cloud over Trump moving into 2020 and to have these investigations. I think for them that's far more important, and they know the Senate is almost surely not going to remove the president.
But how do they walk back? How do they walk back that pronouncement that she made yesterday, and of course all the attendant enthusiasm? I mean, it seems to me now you've made 2020 about impeachment. That's the issue that they want to be the litmus test for the 2020 presidential and down ballot races. Is that really what they want? They think that there'll just be enough Trump fatigue that they'll throw him out just to be done with it?
I don't know what they think. I mean, listen, do they really have to? I mean, they don't have to walk back anything. They spent 2 years talking about Russian collusion. When it didn't work out, they just went to the next thing. No one has explained why that was problematic. No Democrat has come out. I think it's a mistake. I mean, I think that the Trump sort of hatred is already at 11, and lots of people are animated by that. But I think that on the other side, impeachment will be something that really gets Trump fans going, because they believe, and I think they're pretty right about this, is that Trump was convicted by Democrats the day he was elected, and after that it was just a matter of finding something that would allow them to remove him from office.
Well, there's 39 Democratic congressional members who are not on board with impeachment. No Republicans yet that I know of, and this is the question for you, are going to turn on Trump. Are there any senators that are Republican that you think might turn on him? If the House does pass impeachment, it goes to the Senate.
To be fair, I mean, I don't know what's in the whistleblower report or in this conversation, and I'm sure there are some senators who, if it was something really damning, would turn on Trump. But I mean, in all likelihood, if history is any guide, people are getting hysterical over something that's probably not going to have the impact they think it is, and that the status quo will remain. I also should mention that Pelosi, until they have a vote of the entire House, I still don't buy that even though there was some tepid support for impeachment, that people actually want to put it to the vote. But I could be wrong on that.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that, as is always the case here now, now we've got everybody's attention focused on everything that's ever happened in a particular topic area. And as per usual, you find that the side making the accusations isn't coming to the table with clean hands. And we've got a letter from last year from Senators Durbin, Leahy, and Menendez putting pressure on the Ukrainian prosecutor general over the Mueller investigation and full compliance with that investigation. We've got John Solomon reporting, John Solomon at thehill.com reporting about a meeting U.S. Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut had with Zelensky last month, where he basically said, if you acquiesce to Giuliani's request, then you're jeopardizing your continuing the bipartisanship support for U.S. aid to Ukraine that you currently enjoy. So, I mean, how is what those senators were doing any different than they're suggesting Trump did?
It's all Calvin ball. You're not even allowed to mention the past anymore. Whenever I bring things like this up, it's called whataboutism. It's dismissed. Listen, precedents are important. We are trying to set some sort of. Listen, House can impeach for whatever reason they feel like. There is no, it doesn't even have to be lawless or anything like that. But we should have some sort of standards that we live by. That Hunter Biden stuff, which is, which CNN calls baseless and all that. I don't really want to get into the weeds about what that's all about, but it's not baseless. It's very shady to have the vice president of the country dismissing pressuring with U.S. dollars a government to dismiss a prosecutor while his son might be under investigation. Yet, I don't remember people making that big of a deal over any of that. So.
Oh, no, David, Chuck Todd's got this. Hey, David. This has been investigated. There's nothing there. There's nothing. This is investigated. I mean, what is he talking about? I know what he's trying to do, but it's so reprehensible. Look, there was James Freeman writing in the Wall Street Journal just got published basically reader reactions to how Biden and Hillary Clinton conduct business in international arenas where they don't have to comply with U.S. law, or at least think they don't. It's a conflict of interest. This is like conflict of interest 101 in any corporate environment with respect to any governance issue. All Biden had to do was say, Mr. President, I can't be involved in this one because I got my boy on the board of an energy company there. It wouldn't look right. We're not saying he did anything illegal. We have no idea. As Andy McCarthy says, it should be investigated, but we don't have any idea. But the conflict of interest we do know, and that's bad enough.
Yeah. But in some way, I think, and this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory of mine, but I think that the media is perfectly happy to go after Biden and Trump in the same, they don't mind that this is about Biden because they want Elizabeth Warren or someone to the left of Biden. This neoliberal is not doing it for them. So for them, this is the perfect, story all around. Not that they're going to investigate Biden in any real sort of way, but I think that they like the whole layout of this and the landscape of this debate moving forward. I'm not sure it's going to work out for them because I think they underestimate the kind of anger impeachment will, ignite on the right.
Well, the other thing they could be underestimating, too, is the reaction that Democrat primary voters will have to Joe Biden seemingly under attack from the right. They'll rally to him.
What do you mean? They'll rally to
Well,
Democrat primary voters, if they think that this is, he's being attacked by the right, this Donald Trump attacking him, well, then they'll rally to Joe Biden just because he's being attacked by Trump, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's in trouble, right? Because in some of the early states, his numbers are down and so on. But maybe this is the sort of thing where he acts all indignant. He becomes the focus of stories. People, rally around him. I think that's a perfectly, that's a possible outcome to all of this.
Yeah, I'm wrong because I thought his career or his campaign would be over.
Oh, it may
once
still
the story
be.
came out.
It may still be.
Well, but the latest poll shows him now ticking higher. Yeah.
You know what's funny about him? He's a disaster.
He is. No, you're right.
I'm not saying that because he's old or anything, but, he's had other campaigns. They have been complete disasters. People overestimate his appeal, I think, dramatically. Now, not to say he can't win because, Trump is Trump, but, he's a senator from Delaware who was pretty lucky to even become a senator there, in the post-Watergate environment. It's like he is not as likable or as good a politician as people seem to think he is. And certainly not as moderate anymore either.
He is David Harsanyi, senior editor for the Federalist.com, author of First Freedom, A Ride Through America's Enduring History with the Gun, From the Revolution to Today. David, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in